What up, everybody? This is Lewis and Joel, 2/3 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. We're going to hold it down. Quixote is out. So we are going to dive into Royal Rumble 2026, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Our predictions, a rundown of the card, and then some. Stay tuned. Yes, yo. What up, everybody? This is Lewis on the Mark Wrestling Podcast, joined by my wonderful co host. Like I said, 2/3 of On the Mark Wrestling is here. What up, Joel?
Yes, sir. We are here. I believe this is episode 119. So we're moving
Ooh,
up there. We're moving up there quick, man. I feel like episode 100 wasn't even that long ago, but
I
that's
know,
what it is
right?
when we're consistent, right?
Hell yeah. So on the 119th episode, shout out to Quixote. He couldn't make it here tonight. So we hope to reconvene on the next episode. But on episode 119, Royal Rumble 2026. Joel, you and I offline, we were talking about our ages and how we grew up in a similar era. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot believe, like, all after all these years, we've experienced so many different Royal Rumble pay-per-views, PLEs, matches, Royal Rumble winners. And in fact, I mean, the women's Royal Rumble hasn't been around that long, but it's been quite some time since its initial inception back in 2018, and we've had
Yeah.
quite a few memorable historical moments, all that good stuff. So, yeah, let's get right into it, man. Um, I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting card, but Joel, I gotta say this before we even dive into the card. I gotta say this: is it just me, or does the build up to this year's Royal Rumble PLE not have enough emphasis on the Royal Rumble matches themselves? I was thinking about that over the past week, and I'm like, something's a little off with the build up. And I'm not saying that it's terrible, but usually they place more emphasis on the importance of the Royal Rumble matches. The winner goes on to WrestleMania and all of that. It doesn't. I'm not getting that feel. I almost feel like they're putting more emphasis on the undercard. That could
Mm-hmm.
just be me. What do you think, Joel?
No, I agree with you, man. I think it's been a weird build. I think it's almost like it doesn't even feel like Royal Rumble season yet, right? Like this is
Yeah.
usually when they start, the WrestleMania sign is in the arena. They start pointing towards it. They haven't done any of that yet. But I will say the one positive is that it's kind of hard to predict this Royal Rumble. Like there's a lot of options out there. Like you could kind of run with it in many different ways. So I
True.
am excited for that. So I will give this is a rare thing. Hell must have frozen over because this is 2 weeks in a row of me giving WWE props. But I must say, I think they left this in an open-ended way that you kind of don't know who's gonna win. It could kind of go anywhere for both men and women Rumble. So it is exciting. It is exciting to see who actually gets that main event WrestleMania spot or whatever the case might be.
Well said, my brother. Well said. Yeah, I just had to make that point because it does feel off, but I think I think WWE is gonna give a very good show
Mm.
overall. I just have a good feeling about it. I think too much money, time, an investment. I mean, they built the whole stadium from scratch for
Crazy.
crying out loud. I don't know if y'all seen the footage, but just 30 days ago, that was just a whole complete barren wasteland out there, like a whole fucking desert. And they constructed a whole stadium, a whole venue for the Royal Rumble. And I mean, it looks impressive, like considering they got it all done. But nonetheless, we got the Royal Rumble. Let's run down the card for a bit. So, we got our women's Royal Rumble match, obviously, and our men's Royal Rumble match, but Drew McIntyre defends the WWE Championship against Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Who goes over in this match? I think it's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Drew on this one. I think Sammy would be the feel good story. They are in Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia, which is like Sammy's second home at this point. but I just don't see them changing the title so quick. Drew just got this title. Drew's kind of cooking right now with the title. He looks great with the title. I feel like the title fits him better than any other wrestler that has had that title so far. Like, it just looks like it was made for Drew McIntyre. So I think we're gonna see that be him hold that title into WrestleMania. So I don't think it's time for Sami Zayn yet, but I could see something where like he maybe gets like a dusty finish win or something where it seems like he almost had the title, and then that way you could always revisit this match in the future. But I don't see Sammy winning it yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, as much as I would like for him to have his great moment, I don't see that either. I think Sami Zayn is one of those people that is always going to be in the mix no matter what. And that's what makes him such a great talent, right? You can have him as a contender for the heavyweight championship. You can have him as a contender for a mid card title. He's always going to be in the mix because just because of how talented he is, how over he is with the crowd. He's built a great reputation. He's very endeared with the WWE audience. So it'll be a good match, and the fans will very much be behind Sammy. But ultimately, I think Drew retains. I really can't see. I don't see Drew dropping the title. It would
Yeah.
100% shock me.
Same, same. But this could be the start of Sammy Mania or whatever you want to call it, right?
Oh,
I could see them, like I said, maybe giving him that dusty finish win where it looks like he's the champion, but at the end of the day, Drew still ends up leaving with the championship. And then, I mean, maybe there's no rules that he can't enter that Royal Rumble later on. So I don't know.
oh,
Maybe we see something like that where he comes back in, wins the Rumble. Who knows? But I think this is gonna be the test case for, can Sami Zayn be our world champion? I think that's what this whole match is for right here.
could be. You think we get another Daniel Bryan type situation?
Yeah, I could see it, man. I feel like it's about that time. Who else is closer to like that type of push in the WWE? Like, he's been there long enough. He's kind of always been like just close enough to the world title, but never actually done that. He's kind of the last person that needs to finish their story or whatever from that crop of superstars, I would say. So I could see it happening soon. So maybe not this year, maybe next year, but something like that where this is gonna be the start of like, why isn't Sam, like the online people talking about why Sammy never gets the title, why Sammy never gets a shot. I could see it being like that fake organic push that they try to do, but it works all the time. Like Danielson, like Kofi, like all of that.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Well, time will tell, and hopefully WWE makes the right decision. But I kind of like what you're thinking with a late entry into the Rumble because we've seen that so many times in the past. So that wouldn't shock me at all. But moving on to, this is a very heavily talked about match. AJ Styles versus Gunther. This is a career threatening match. AJ Styles loses. He's got to go. His WWE career will be finished. Finito. Um, is AJ Styles calling it a career at the Royal Rumble? Our assumption, that I think everybody's fair assumption, was that he was going to have a retirement year uh tour,
Yeah. Yeah.
like similar to what John Cena did.
Mm-hmm.
And that may not necessarily be the case. Either WWE is doing a really good job of teasing the fact that Gunther's going to end his career at the PLE, or the AJ Styles just actually pulls it off and we see a proper retirement run. Well, it's kind of hard to call this one.
Yeah.
I would think that Gunther goes over just to keep him strong. So, if anything on the undercard, this is the match that I'm looking forward to the most.
Mm-hmm.
Just if nothing else, for the outcome. What you got, Joel?
Yeah, man, this is a hard one to call, man. Like, I'm on the same boat as you because like they've been teasing it so much that it kind of feels like this might actually be it. Like they're kind of, it's almost like they're emotionally preparing us for this. Like they're like hoping we don't get outraged. Like they like I think that's what they're trying to do. They're like, hey, they're trying to let us down like in a nice way. Like, yeah, it's time we got to put your dog down type shit. And I don't know, like AJ Styles does seem like the type to kind of want to go out on his very best, right? Like he doesn't, I don't think he wants to be the type to be around long enough where you could see him having like missteps in the ring and things like that. I think he wants to be known as one of the best in-ring performers of all time to the very end. So I could see him being like, let me get out now while I know I still have it, instead of waiting till the end of the year where, you know, I mean, it takes a toll. He's in his 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 40s, I think. So like he's way past his prime. Like we've been seeing this guy for decades at this point doing phenomenal shit, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And maybe it's time. And he did debut exactly 10 years ago at Royal Rumble. 10 years seems like a good enough run in WWE. That's a pretty long run. When you think about the greats, I actually was thinking about this the other day, Lewis. When you think about the greats and their run on top, most of the greats barely had what, like, I think the longest maybe like 7 years when you really think about it, besides John Cena.
Yeah.
You have
But the key
Austin.
word is most. You said
Yeah,
most.
yeah. Austin was very short when you really think
Yeah.
about it. The Rock was very
Very
short. Like
short.
his main event run was very short.
Even
So
HBK, like the first run, was
yeah, so
pretty short.
I was thinking about that. And I'm like, damn, when you, and this is probably gonna be a conversation that we could table for another episode. But like when you really, if this is it, and if it's AJ calling it quits, we're gonna have to revisit our top 10 rankings and Mount Rushmores and all that. Because I think when it's all said and done, and we look back at these 10 years that AJ Styles accomplished in WWE, plus the whole career he had before that, and putting
Yeah.
TNA on his back,
Yeah.
literally making TNA a household name to the point where without him, they wouldn't have this AMC deal that, you know, it all the historical value of TNA led to that.
Yeah.
So, and then you put in his New Japan run as well, the Bullet Club
Mm.
stuff. Like when it's all said and done, man, this is one of the best careers we've ever seen in wrestling. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, what else do I have to do? I've done it all. Might as well just leave now. So I don't know.
Mm.
I think it might be time. Unfortunately, I don't
Might
want to
be
see it
time.
happening because AJ's one of my favorites, and it's gonna suck to see him go. But I
Yeah.
think it might be time. Unfortunately,
I would love to pick up this conversation after the Royal Rumble.
for sure.
And if it's ending at the Royal Rumble, this would be a great conversation to have, like a retrospective look
Mhm.
at AJ Styles' run in WWE, just in WWE alone. You know,
Yeah.
on the covers of video games, multi-time
Yeah.
WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, I believe United States champion,
Mhm.
tag team champion. I think the only thing that he hasn't done was win a Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
but I mean, headlined
I mean,
WrestleMania.
his debut was so epic that he didn't even need to win the Royal Rumble. Like that
Right.
that's a defining Royal Rumble moment, man. He like we didn't even know what the song was, but once we saw that phenomenal on the screen, what?
Yeah, that
Oh
was a
my
that was a
god, dude.
classic moment. Classic
Honestly.
moment.
I think I might go watch that right after this. It's such a great
Yeah,
moment, dude.
yeah, that was. Yeah, shout out to AJ Styles. We're
Yep.
pulling for you, buddy, but it's looking grim.
The career killer Gunther, man.
I know, and I'm liking it. The career killer, just like Randy Orton had the legend killer.
Exactly.
So, as far as the Royal Rumble matches,
Yes,
we got
sir.
a whole bunch of confirmed entrants, and then one can only speculate as far as who we think is going to show up, uh, and all of that. Now, let's start with the women's Royal Rumble match, shall we?
Mhm.
The women's Royal Rumble match. The confirmed participants are Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Bailey, Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, Chelsea Green, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Maxine Dupree. And those are, as of this recording, that's only half of the participants. So there's still 15 other spots still open. So with that said, we got to talk about first who we think is going to win and if there's any surprises to be had.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I was. This is what I was talking about. Like, I feel like it is very hard to predict both Royal Rumbles this year, which is really good. Like, thank you WWE, because usually it's pretty
Yeah.
predictable. I
Yeah.
mean, I know last year Jey Uso was kind of a surprise, but he was already like on his rise, so it made
Mm-hmm.
sense. So I don't really see anyone that's like very clear cut could win this, at least the women's Royal Rumble. So I'm thinking most likely it's going to be a surprise that ends up winning. So those names you listed, get them out of here. I'm not even looking at that list.
Really?
I
Wow.
think, in my opinion, I think it's time for a certain EST to return to the ring. It's been a long time. She's been gone for a long time. I know she had a finger injury, broken finger, something like that. Lasted a lot longer than she thought it would take to recover. I haven't heard much about where she is in that recovery, but I feel like it makes sense to have Bianca Belair come back, win the Royal Rumble, and then you have a story already in place between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill right there. It's a match they teased, I think, last Rumble,
Yeah.
and they had the whole tag team situation with Naomi, and that ended up being what it was. And now Jade is now a heel. It's kind of gone full circle. So it's kind of like a story that you could easily pick up again. So Bianca versus Jade seems like a WrestleMania match. Seems like a match you put on a poster as well. So I'm gonna go with Bianca as my winner of the Women's Royal Rumble for 2026.
Let's give it up for Joelle, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I love that because I wasn't even thinking about Bianca Belair, to be honest. And I guess that's the element of surprise, right? You never know who's going to show up. And that's always why the Royal Rumble is my second favorite PLE event of the WWE calendar.
Yeah,
And in some cases, I'll be honest with you, I have more fun watching the Royal Rumble than I do WrestleMania.
yeah,
Um, just because of that unpredictability factor and who's showing up, who's going over the top rope, who's going to make it into the final four, so on and so forth. My pick is still Rhea Ripley.
mm,
I'm still sticking with Rhea because I think that's the easiest path to get to. That's the easiest way to get to Rhea versus Vicaire. Now, let's just say Bianca Belair does win the Royal Rumble. I like your where your booking mindset is at, where they already have a story there between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. So that's like a real easy setup right there. They could just pick up where they left off before Bianca got hurt.
mm-hmm.
But what's good about a PLE like Elimination Chamber right around
That's
the
true.
corner is that you always have that second opportunity for someone to earn a title shot. So if Bianca, let's just say Bianca shows up but doesn't win, then I think the most logical person to win it would be Rhea Ripley, based on who I'm seeing that's confirmed. Unless it's like one of those surprise entrants that is going to win and it actually makes sense. You see, I remember months ago, this was what, a good 6 or 7 months ago, when I was talking about Stephanie Vicaire. Had Stephanie Vicaire not been the women's champion, that would have been my easy pick.
Yeah,
But it seems like they're going to have her hold the title through WrestleMania. So I think, I don't know, I think it just makes sense for Rhea Ripley to win, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, we got to look back at that episode where you and Coyote had the infamous debate over Stephanie Vicaire, because I remember you saying that you guaranteed Stephanie Vicaire was going to win the Royal Rumble. Now, you didn't know she would be the champion at the time, but it seems like she will be going into WrestleMania as champion. So I think you deserve some points for that prediction right there. She's going to be at WrestleMania as a
Thank you. Thank
champion.
you. I'm going to clap for myself here.
Yeah. Clap it up.
Oh,
Coyote,
yeah.
you got 1 week to respond.
Yeah, no, for real. I called it last
Yeah, you
summer. I
did. You
was
did. You
like,
did.
Stephanie Vicaire, she's just got the it factor.
Very
She's
early.
a very easy. She has a very marketable look, so it's very easy to put her on a marquee anywhere. And think about it, when they did the WrestleMania press conference for Riyadh,
Oh yeah.
she was there in
Yeah.
person. I
You're right.
mean, she is the one that's going to be representing the women's division for some foreseeable time. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Rhea Ripley is my pick for the
Now,
Women's Royal Rumble winner.
Lewis, let me ask you this: is there anyone out there that could become a surprise entrant for this Women's Royal Rumble? Is there any free agents out there? Anybody that any buzz of anyone that you've heard of? Anybody on the Indies, or is it just gonna be a straight WWE? Maybe some legends, maybe
You
some
know what?
NXT.
Hmm, I think it's gonna come down to you're gonna get like one or not one or two, but you'll probably get a couple of surprises in terms of people that have been injured, like Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of somebody else, but they're probably just going to bring up a couple of NXT folks like they typically do. They'll have some NXT women participate. You'll get like one, two, maybe three nostalgia acts.
Yeah,
Look, I love Trish Stratus. I love Lita, but I think we need to give that a rest
yeah,
for this
I
year.
agree.
And like, just let's give it a rest and just give opportunities to other people.
Yeah, I
And if
wonder
you're
how
gonna
it's
bring
gonna
back
work.
anybody nostalgia wise, let's bring back some folks that we haven't seen in a while. Because come on, like Trish Stratus is a national
All
treasure.
right,
So is Lita. We see them all the time.
all right. So as our wrestling historian, Lewis, what obscure, random nostalgia woman would you like to show up in the Royal Rumble?
Holy fuck, man! Because in recent years we've seen Victoria, we've
Yeah.
seen Molly Holly. I believe we've seen Beth Phoenix. Um, I mean Ivory.
Oh, Ivory. I haven't heard that name in a
Ivory, I
long time.
guess.
Yeah, Ivory.
I don't even know how the crowd would respond
Yeah,
though.
and that's the weird thing too. Like we're gonna be in Saudi, so like, is it gonna really hit the same as if it would have hit? You know, like I don't know. Like
Right?
so, I'm trying to think of
Stacy
who's.
Keebler.
Ooh, It's been a while since we've seen Stacy. Yeah,
Yeah, she's one that I would be curious to see because we haven't seen her in a while.
that's a good call.
Like we've seen Tori Wilson in recent years.
You know
I
who I would like to
think,
see?
huh?
I would like to see. I don't know what she's doing nowadays, but Jazz. Where's Jazz at? You remember Jazz?
Yeah, did they not include Jazz in a recent women's
Was
Royal
she in the
Rumble?
Rumble? I don't know if she was in the Rumble or not. I gotta look that up.
Maybe we would have to look that up, but Jazz would be a good surprise. I don't think. I think the crowd would not respond at all. They'd be
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
they'd be like, "Who's Jazz?"
I'd pop in my house. Like,
Yeah,
oh
I
shit.
would. Yeah, I don't think that she would get much of a reaction, but she would be good to see.
Yeah.
Um,
If
yeah,
it's
if I'm
not,
thinking of more ruthless aggression chicks.
you could do Melina. That's an easy one. Melina.
Oh, Melina, yeah, Melina would be good.
I think she
Yeah,
might have come. I think she came back during one of these rumbles.
yeah,
Or yeah,
and they might have already used up like
yeah,
everyone that we can think of. So
yeah,
it's not gonna be like so much of a surprise anymore. I think at
yeah,
this point, just rely on the ones who you can pop the crowd because they just came back from injury, or in addition to the NXT gals.
yeah. I think the biggest get would be if someone like Britt Baker was available. I know she's. We don't know what she's up to. I think last I heard she's still signed to AEW.
That's what I heard too. Yeah,
But
I don't. I'm not expecting to see her
if
at all.
something was like that was to happen, and we hear the DMD and she comes out, I think that would get a pretty big pop. Just
Oh
because
yeah,
of
that would get a crazy
yeah,
pop.
just
I would jump out of my seat for that one.
yeah. That's the only like free agent type person I could see like
Yeah,
actually making like an impact, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of like a. It's almost like WWE kind of shot themselves in the foot when it comes to the Women's Royal Rumble because they did go for those nostalgic acts so early on that now it's like, yeah, who's left? Like,
yeah. They went to that well one too many times early on. I would have given it about 7, 8 years of the Royal Rumble for the women, at least for that the existence of the women's Royal Rumble match. I would have given it at least close to a decade. So that way, when you do bring the nostalgia acts, like, oh shit, I haven't seen her in a while, but
Exactly.
they started doing that shit from year one.
Yeah, we're
So it was like, okay, and I understand it because the women's roster at the time wasn't as
yeah.
extensive as it is now. So yeah, I get it. I get it. Men's Royal Rumble. This is where this is going to be the talk of the wrestling community.
Yeah, man.
What? Let's look at what we got here as far as the participants. And I when I looked at that list earlier today, I should say, it's a pretty good roster of
It's
talent you
stacked.
got here.
It's stacked.
It is stacked. So the confirmed men's Royal Rumble entrants, we have Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio, Jey Uso, Gunther, Solo Sokoa, Penta, Dragon Lee, Jacob Fatu, Oba Femi, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Javon Evans, R Truth. Now, that's 14, just 14 confirmed spots. And as of this recording, 16 spots still remain.
We did get
So ain't that
a
something?
we did get a confirmation earlier today that Brock Lesnar is also in it. He confirmed it on Pat McAfee
Ah,
show.
yes, I did read that. Okay, so
So
man,
that's
that's like
15.
the biggest name that we left off of there.
Yeah.
Brock fucking Lesnar.
Yeah. So, and this is what I was saying earlier. Like, they have done a good job. Like we mentioned that they haven't done a good job of like kind of hyping up the Royal Rumble, but they've done a good job of making it unpredictable. Like the
Yeah.
names you listed right there, I could see 4 to 5 of those people winning it and not batting an eye. Like I could see Roman winning it. I could see Brock winning it. I could see Oba getting a huge push and just being like, strap the rocket to him and let him get a Royal Rumble win. Who cares? You got Cody Rhodes that could win it. Jacob Fatu, I could see him. Bron Breakker, Logan Paul. Like these are all names that I wouldn't really be surprised, honestly. Like they could strap the rocket to any of these guys and just turn it on. And that's the beauty of having 2 world championships. Like it's not that big of a deal to give someone a Rumble win and then not have the main event WrestleMania. We've seen that happen plenty of times at this point. Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble last year, and then his match was like, I don't even know, like third on the card or something random at WrestleMania. Like he was not main eventing WrestleMania. So like you could
He
have,
opened the show.
yeah, exactly. Like they play fast and loose with what they call main event of WrestleMania. So you could have a Bron Breakker, for example, win this match and not have him be in the marquee main event. He could be in the opening match against CM Punk or something like that. So it's kind of like very unpredictable this year. But if I had to choose, gun to my head, and you listed all those names, I think I'm gonna go with the tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Really?
Yeah. And honestly, I'm literally just deciding that right now, and the reason why is because they made a big deal. They made a huge deal about him being at this Royal Rumble. Like they had a whole promo package just for him, like deciding that he was in the Rumble, and it was like had all the Riyadh Saudi graphics in the back, and it kind of just like it kind of makes sense to me. You like he's been gone for a little bit. He's kind of been like mudding, not really doing much since WrestleMania 40. So like you kind of want him in your main event. How do you get him in your main event without it being like complicated? And you kind of have a built-in story with him and CM Punk, so you could do Roman versus Punk if you want, or you could even go after Drew because there's also history there. So I could see that being last minute decision. I could see them being like, you know what, Roman's safe. Let's just give Roman the Rumble win. Roman's gonna, if you put Roman at the main event of a WrestleMania, people are gonna watch. So it's easy, it's an easy thing to book from the WWE standpoint. So I'll go with Roman.
I can see that. That's a good pick. For once, I'm like, Roman wouldn't be terrible. That wouldn't be
Yeah,
terrible at all because we're so used to Roman entering the Road to WrestleMania season as the champ,
exactly.
and last year was the first time that wasn't the case. So is Roman ready to get back on that high horse is the question, because remember, he's still part-time. So do we want to revisit that, where if he wins the Royal Rumble and let's just say hypothetically he actually does win the world championship at WrestleMania, do we want to revisit that where he's defending the title every 3 months? Um, so that's a question that fans have to really ask themselves.
Yeah.
I think here's the person who I want to win. This is a very unpredictable men's Royal Rumble match because I really can't call it.
Yeah.
Last year there was a sense of unpredictability, but you kind of knew that Jey Uso was a favorite. John Cena was even a favorite last year,
Yeah.
and then the 2 years before that, you knew it was either going to be Cody Rhodes or CM Punk in 2024.
Mhm.
Um, and then in 2023, it was so blatantly obvious that Cody was going to win.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that this is the most unpredictable men's Royal Rumble match in at least 5 to 6 years.
For sure.
And who I want to win is Bron Breakker.
Mm.
Think just because Bron Breakker came up short against CM Punk on Raw for the world title earlier this month, I don't think that means anything. But if you really want to make a megastar out of some of these young guys and stay and plant the flag like this is the future generation, I would have one of those guys win. Maybe Jacob Fatu even. Now I don't think Jacob. I think let's put it this way. I think Braun Breaker is more likely to win than Jacob. I don't know. I just feel that way, but I could be wrong. I don't think Oba Femi is going to win because he hasn't been on WWE main roster television
Yeah.
like that. So I don't see that. I don't see Brock Lesnar winning. I damn sure don't see Jey Uso doing a repeat.
No. Hell no.
Um, but then you got Cody Rhodes. That is a possibility because they've been teasing the whole there's only one guy who's ever won 3 Royal Rumble matches, and that's Stone Cold. So they might want to put Cody in that same company as Austin.
I hope
So
not.
that I'm just
I
saying.
hope not.
I hope not. That is a possibility. Then you got Logan Paul, like the person who a couple of podcast episodes ago I was like, no, I don't want him to win. Like, fuck no.
You know what's crazy too? I actually I texted you guys earlier this week, and I said I have a feeling Logan Paul might win the Royal Rumble, and it all started because of that episode of when you said that you don't want him to win. I started thinking of like, what does that look like? Logan Paul as the Royal Rumble winner. And then I started thinking a little more, and I'm like, he has been consistently on TV. He is kind of full time now. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in his contract or something he wrote in that he needs to be world champion in this next year or something. So I could see something like that. I could see him winning the Rumble in Saudi Arabia. It's star power. Then you get a pretty easy story to tell between Logan Paul and CM Punk. But I don't think it's time yet. I don't think it's time for Logan Paul just yet. But the thing I am interested about with this Royal Rumble is how clear the WrestleMania card is going to look after this Royal Rumble, because I think we're going to see a lot of the pairing off of who's going to be facing each other. Because I think if you're going to have Brock Lesnar here, that means he's starting his WrestleMania, whatever his match is going to be, is going to start here probably, because he's not going to show up many more times after this. You know how Brock works. He shows up and then he doesn't. We don't see him for a couple months.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna see whoever Brock's opponent is, whoever eliminates Brock from this Rumble most likely. And then I could also see that happening with all of the other big stars that we named. So like if Cody Rhodes doesn't win, I could see him pairing off with a Jacob Fatu or something. They eliminate each other. That's your Mania match, something like that. And then Oba Femi, I think the fact that they've been doing his vignettes every week for both Raw and SmackDown, I think they know they have a star in the making right here. So I could see him getting a big push in this Rumble, maybe getting the most eliminations, and then whoever eliminates him, that's your Oba Femi WrestleMania match or whatever. So I do think we're gonna see after this weekend, we'll know a lot more what this WrestleMania 42 is it? Yeah, WrestleMania 42.
Yes, 42.
We're gonna know what this WrestleMania 42 card is gonna start looking like, I believe.
Yeah, good point that we're going to start seeing a much clearer picture of WrestleMania after this weekend. There's a lot of star power in this Royal Rumble match,
Yeah.
and even if it's not someone who's already held a world title or main events at WrestleMania. Like the up and coming guys, like Jacob Fatu is a well known name. He's a star,
Hmm.
or at least a star in the making.
Yeah.
Bron Breakker, Oba Femi, Logan Paul. And then you got your former Royal Rumble winners all in the same match: Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. Like, this is a star-studded lineup here that we have in the men's Royal Rumble match. So that's one of the reasons why I'm very, very excited, just because I don't know how everything is going to play out. I would love nothing more than for Oh, Gunther. I forgot Gunther's in it.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
already
another
got
one.
a big match against AJ Styles. But
Word.
I would love nothing more than to see Bron Breakker or someone like that win. I don't think any former Royal Rumble winner needs to win it, but if they do, they do. As long as they give us a good, unpredictable match.
Yeah.
Now, any surprises? The rumor mill is that Jericho,
Yeah.
Y2J, Lionheart,
Mm.
Chris Jericho makes his WWE return to Saudi Arabia. And I think that's pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
How else would you have Jericho return to the company?
Yeah. I think it seems like a perfect spot for him to return. The Saudi crowd is very into like nostalgia as well.
Yeah.
His attitude era, they're gonna love it. Now, if he does come out, does he come out to Judas, or does he come out to his WWE music? What do you think? Break the walls down, Judas. He has a couple of bangers, man. So I don't know.
Yeah. I heard I read online today that WWE trademarked Judas.
Oh
So
wow.
that could mean a number of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that they trademarked the rights to his theme music. It could just be that that's going to be the new nickname that he goes by
Mm,
rather than Y2J. Like, they'll just call him Judas. Maybe it could be something like that. Um, and if and when Jericho does come back to the company, this should emphatically be his final run. And when I
yeah.
say his final run, I'm thinking 2026 should be his last year as a
Yeah.
pro wrestler.
Yeah. This
And I
should
love
be
Jericho. I
same.
love Jericho. He's in my top 20 of all time, and
Same.
that'll never change. But it's time.
Yeah, like this should definitely be his swan song. Like ride off into the sunset. Maybe get a Hall of Fame induction this year. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah.
Him saying that he's retiring at Mania or something and getting right inducted into the Hall of Fame. We don't need to see much more. We don't want to. I don't need a Jericho World Title run in
No.
2026. There's not. I honestly don't even know who you put him with. Like as a his first feud or whatever. Like I can't really see where he fits in this day and age in WWE. So that will be exciting to see who they pair him with. But if he's willing to, work with some of the younger guys, they could all learn from him for sure. He's
Oh yeah.
one of the best talents that we've seen in wrestling history, honestly, and he's always been great at reinventing himself. So I think that's one of those things that a lot of wrestlers could learn how to do, reinventing
Yeah.
themselves constantly making themselves relevant again. So like if that's the case, and I hope he ends up getting like a backstage position or something too, because I think he's such a good wrestling mind that he needs to be used somewhere, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the younger talent can learn tremendously from Jericho. And Jericho's held in very high regard by the
Yeah,
wrestling community.
for
Whether
sure.
you are an in ring talent or you're on the creative side, like anybody who's been around Jericho, they hold him to a high standard because this man has traveled and wrestled all over the world since the
Yeah,
90s, man. And he's gone toe to toe with the best of the best of the best. And he's had a great WWE run, and he was one of the pillars with AEW as they launched. He was AEW's first world champion. So Jericho checks off a lot of boxes, and especially with character work and how to get over.
yeah,
And the young talent can learn a lot from him.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm excited to see him finally make his return. Um, and there's nothing for AEW fans to feel salty about. Like, he came, he saw, he conquered. He helped.
Yeah,
He helped with the launch of the company. He did what he was supposed to. But everybody knows Chris Jericho's a WWE guy. Ultimately, he's going to go in the WWE Hall of Fame within the next year or two, and that's it.
Yeah, no hard feelings. I think if I'm AEW, he did exactly what he was paid to do. Came in,
Yeah.
gave the company relevancy. Was the first world champion, like you said. Put on some good matches early in AEW
Hmm.
too, and then he left on whatever. Like he wasn't in his best when he was leaving in ring wise, but he still was talented and still was able to entertain people. So what can you do? You can't be mad if someone wants to go back home or whatever, as they like to say.
Right. Right. And they always say never.
Exactly.
Um. One last thought on the Royal Rumble match. You know who eliminates Gunther? Brock Lesnar.
And that's where they go for WrestleMania.
Or vice versa.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bobby Gunther eliminates Brock Lesnar.
I was thinking that as
And
well,
I
but
and
I
I
was
think that's the match that we get at WrestleMania because that's the match that everybody's been clamoring for the last few years, and why not, right? Like a clash of the Titans.
that's the thing, right? Like I was thinking about this because once I heard the news of Brock saying that he was entering, I was like, okay, who can he face at Mania? So I was thinking Gunther, Bron Breakker, or Oba Femi. I feel like those are the three names.
Yeah,
At least
yeah,
those are the people I want to see them face off during the Rumble. I want to see that Oba Brock Lesnar face off. I would like to see Brock Braun face off, and I would like to see Brock Gunther face off. And one of those guys end up being his WrestleMania opponent because I feel like that's the match I want to see. One of those three, one of those younger talents. Gunther's a little bit older, but the younger, not as established talents versus a Brock Lesnar. I think that could be a big match.
yeah, absolutely. Well, one way or another, we're in for a treat. But that concludes this episode of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for all of your support, listeners and followers on our social media pages. Continue supporting that YouTube channel, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook. We love the engagement. And if you're out there, content creators, we're open to collab. If you are a wrestler, an aspiring wrestler, an aspiring pro wrestling talent, hit us up, man. We'd love to have you on for an interview. We'd love to shoot the shit about pro wrestling and gain further insight onto as to what makes us tick as far as wrestling fans are concerned. But that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, peace out.